Hi there, I'm Marty Janeski. It is June 15th, 2019, and along with my good friend Ken Montroy, we are your host of the local sports wrap-up here on Wyandotte Cable. Ken, how was your week? How you doing?
Real good, real good. Still wet.
Oh,
I can't believe how many rainouts these baseball teams are getting.
it is something else. Let's start with our local team. Nothing much happening with Wyandotte, so I'm going to go Allen Park route real quick. They beat, after winning their respective districts in the Downriver League, Allen Park and Carlson faced off, Gibraltar Carlson, last Saturday in the Division I regional semifinals. Allen Park ended up beating Carlson 6-3. That's the third time this year that they beat them, so they beat them that mystical third time.
Oh, bad luck for Carlson.
Well, yeah, Allen Park's a tough team, though.
Oh, I bet they are, but why do you have to get beat 3 times by them to be?
And get this, Carlson's leading 3-0 in the 5th inning.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, and then Allen Park sneaks one in the bottom of the 5th, or the top of the bottom of the 5th, and then 5 more times in the 6th inning.
Wow.
So
to
it had
make it like a rout.
Yeah, then the score doesn't really sound. But it was Carlson's first
Appearance?
first ever district championship.
Wow, they're making progress. Good for that coach. Good
Solid
for the team.
Yes. The Allen Park, then they lost the next game. They played Canton next, and they lost in the regional finals to Canton 7-4.
Darn.
One thing about Allen Park, they have 14th consecutive
Appearances?
league titles.
Wow. 14 consecutive?
14 consecutive
Impressive.
league titles, and that is the 9th year in a row that they advanced to the regional finals.
So a little frustrating too, though.
They are solid, though.
They are absolutely solid. That's good for them because it'll help for the scholarships.
Correct.
They will say, "Oh, Allen Park's always a power. Let's take a look."
Yeah,
That's kind of handy.
I agree with that, and
Same.
that's the way they do it.
Right, and same thing with Carlson now. Then they'll start to recognize Carlson in there a little bit too. So I think that's really good for the programs.
I agree with that. They do look at the powerhouses, and they recruit kids that way, without a doubt. That's why my bowling team's going to become a powerhouse.
Fantastic, and that will help the kids for recruiting purposes.
Hopefully, one day.
Scholarships are out there.
Unused.
Unused. I know I didn't use mine.
You got anything else on softball?
Yes, I do. I got the girls softball. They lost in the quarterfinals 8-3 to number 2 ranked in the state, Dundee. They played Novi. The Pioneers were tied with the very powerful Vikings late in the game, but ultimately saw their playoff push halted with the 8-3 loss. The game was much closer than it would indicate because in the 6th, they were tied 3-3, and that's whenever it got busted open by Dundee.
Almost similar to what happened to the Allen Park game there.
Correct.
Yeah.
But to have this team finished the year 9-19-1. To have this team compete with this Dundee team, which is number 2 in the state, is quite impressive.
9-19-1.
9-19-1. I'm not really sure how that works out for them to make the playoffs, but then again, I'm not on the committee, so.
Well, they could have just won the games that the pre-qualifiers. They have pre-district qualifiers, and that gets them into the mix.
So
It's for the
with
weaker
that-
teams. You keep, the weaker teams have to start, I believe. Now, again, don't take anything I say as,
gospel.
thank you. But, everybody gets a chance to compete. They just, before the regionals, you're playing some of the other weaker teams for the, the opportunity to be seated like 4th in that region, let's say, or district. It's districts first. So I think that's how it works.
So anybody in the state, whether they had a win through the whole season, gets to qualify for the state playoffs.
Right, but they go a couple of weeks before the season ends. They schedule those games before the actual thing, and you just get, called a pre-district.
Oh.
It happens in hockey a lot, too.
Oh, okay.
You play a pre-district with the opportunity maybe because the top teams are going. They're going because they're the top teams. But, they give an opportunity to everyone else.
So that's probably
9-19,
explains
though.
how
Yeah.
Richard got in there at their record.
You won a third of your games, and you're playing in a district final. That's crazy.
That's definitely good for them. Good for them girls.
What about
Tell
the
you what.
Richard boys? Got anything there?
On the Richard boys,
Yeah.
yes,
Over here.
I do. That snuck up on me. Okay, Gabe Richard last week on the 3rd of June beat Cabrini 2-1. Very competitive game. They also won 4-1 with Detroit Edison Public. I was familiar to a degree with the Detroit schools. I'm not familiar with that one. But they won in 9 innings. Detroit Edison Public School Academy. They have a lot of breakdown. There's a lot of kids there in Detroit. Unbelievable. On the 8th, Gabe Richard also beat Ann Arbor Green Hills. There's another school I never heard of, but that was a 12-inning game. They won that one, or they lost that one 5-4. That's what knocked them out.
Well, they had a good run, too.
Yes, they did.
There's a lot of Wyandotte kids go to Gabriel Richard, I would guess.
I would guess.
Yeah.
You ask their parents. They also had Trenton played. Trenton, also from the Downriver area. Trenton played and won 8-0 over Divine Child. Very good, very competitive game. Unfortunately, I wrote this somewhere else.
I got one here. I got Woodhaven baseball here. You want to go with that?
Yeah, go ahead, go with that.
Let's go with that.
But Gabriel Richard Catholic Central did beat Trenton.
Okay.
Okay.
The Woodhaven, made the Division I state final game last year.
They're tough.
This spring, they were one of the favorites. Now, they were ranked number 1 most of the season. Got to the district round along with the semis, clinched a spot in the Super Regional in Kalamazoo. Okay, they kicked off the day with a 2-1 victory over Saline. And then they played the second game of a doubleheader. And they played the Huskies. They lost 7-3. So they got eliminated in the semifinals.
So that's a 1-game knockout. They played 2 games on a Saturday, correct?
Correct.
And they lost the second one. So the baseball.
That would have got them to East Lansing for the state finals had they won that one.
Wow, how nice.
So
now,
they were quarters. Is that quarters? Yeah.
yes. So in there, you have to have a good, solid team because you're playing 2 games in one day. Your pitching staff is going to take a beating, I would think.
I think it weeds out the teams with one stud pitcher.
Right. So you can't, like girls softball, that girl's a stud, she runs through the teams.
Pitches all day long.
Right. With
18
baseball,
innings.
you cannot do that. They have regulations.
And it's a new format. It's called the Super Regional. And what it does is the new process moves the regional semifinal game up to the Wednesday after District Saturday, which was last Saturday. The winners of that contest play the following Saturday, with the first round being for the regional championship, which Woodhaven got. And then the second game that day determines which team goes to the state semifinals, which they got eliminated. It eliminated the need for a standalone state quarterfinal game, which was traditionally played after the regional Saturday. Now they just put it all in one day.
Wow. And if that day gets a rain out?
Well, that game actually was scheduled for 5 p.m. and they didn't play it till like 9 o'clock because they were waiting for the rain to
That's
stop.
brutal on these kids. For one, eating.
We stress eating.
You're right. Experienced that with our bowling teams. Right. Eating's a big thing. I couldn't imagine the parents going out and getting food for them.
Right.
I would assume that. I would have done that for my kid.
Right. As they're sitting around, and with the radar nowadays, you can almost see to the time when it's going to stop.
Is it?
But then you got to get the field ready.
Oh, yeah.
I know the best fields drain really well, but it's still wet. Every time the ball's hitting the outfield, it's going to skip. You pick it up, the outfielder tries to throw it, and it goes that away because it's wet.
Or your footing.
Right.
But I could just see a parent in the crowd going, hey, I'll go get food. Everybody going, hey, hold on, let me give you something like this. No sense all of us going.
I agree. And in Trenton, in the Division II state semifinals, they got to Michigan State. Trenton did. They fell to Grand Rapids Catholic Central 3-2. And that game was the first state semifinal game for Trenton since 2001.
2001, 18 years. Beautiful.
And they, they took an early 1-0 lead. The Cougars, Grand Rapids, they're called the Cougars. They tied it up and went ahead in the fifth, 2-1. Bottom of the fifth, Trenton ties the game. And then in the top of the seventh, the other team scored a run. Trenton went down 1-2-3. Your four teams left in the States, and they were one of them.
Quite impressive. Quite impressive. Now, I see in the paper these kids getting scholarships from Cordonia College or wherever they're going to give you accordion. Oh, they changed the name already? Huh. So, anyway, these kids are getting scholarships for this. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and that will help out these kids.
Yeah, and the whole thing with, there's a lot of junior colleges, is that the right term, that will let you play ball for them, whether it be volleyball, softball, baseball. That's how they've, over the decades, increased their attendance by starting teams. Back in our day, the smaller schools didn't have sports.
No.
Now you can play sports about anywhere. They don't all have football because football is an expensive thing. But a lot of them have softball and baseball programs, and the bowling teams. Whenever we go to a meet with my daughter, now there's 18 teams there, schools I never heard of.
I was reading a few I never heard of.
Right, and that's kind of the way that goes. Again, it's June 15th, in case you just joined us. I want to throw that in every opportunity I get, because this show plays all week long. And we want you to know that we film it on a Saturday.
So, that led me in, before you go into the golf, I just want to say something over here about, you made a very valid point about a lot of schools, so when we grew up, didn't even have anything for the middle schools for the kids. And here, actually, we have Wilson Middle School that does have a swimming pool. I think that's great for the high schools, because now you got kids coming along, they're going to be taught how to swim, and by the time they get there, they actually know what a breaststroke is. Not that they don't know in high school.
We talk about feeder system all the time, and right there, they've got kids swimming in middle school.
Right. And Wilson's actually having theirs coming up. They have a session June 17th to the July 11th that you can sign up for, children and adults. It'll be on Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. They break it down between ages 6 to 7, 8 to 9, 10 and up. You just need your birth certificate. I don't know why they would require that. But anyway, there's no charge for Wyandotte residents, but non-residents, $30. I just wanted to say that because these are beginner classes, and the sooner you get a kid into it, the better. Because they say that in Michigan, you are no farther than 6 miles away from any water, like lake, river, stream, and you never know what could happen with a kid out in the water. The quicker you can teach them to swim, the better.
Public service announcement. If kid's not going to be a competitive swimmer, just teach them how to get to the shore.
Himself.
Right, get to the shore. I mean, my kids, we grew up with a pool. I was a squid. I was a fish.
Right.
I loved the water. I loved the water, and my kids same way. They both could get. They're both going to be able to make it to the shore when that boat goes down.
So actually, you could use your own dog to help teach your kid, because you put the kid in there and have him watch the dog and do the dog paddle, and the dog's going to go to shore. Right?
Dog has a hard time getting out of the pool.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't want him scratching up the side.
I had a dog, before. When we went to the local beaches, she would love the water. And we'd take her off to the side and throw a stick, and all day long, she would love the water. So when we'd load up the little boat that we had with the cooler and everything, and the rope would get tied to her leash, and she'd pull the raft with everything in it right to the beach.
That's entertainment.
Because she was strong enough, first of all, and secondly, we didn't have to carry anything then. It was golden. Then we'd untie her and we'd go play stick off to the side.
Interesting.
Golf results. The local team here, the Grosville team, They placed third at the state finals. There's 18 teams at the state finals, and they had a third place finish after winning the regionals on the 29th of May last weekend,
Third?
7th and 8th. Yes, they had a meet, and they earned a third place finish. They had a 2-day score of 664, which, again, you have 4 players playing. They scored 333 the first day, 331 the second. They were about 40 strokes behind the champions. You know, in 2 days, you could make that up. It's like bowling, couple pins, you know.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but you brought it up. Only because I'm not a golfer. So I'm a little confused when you say a total of 664. Correct?
2 days.
2 days.
Okay, let's say you have
So I
4
shoot a
golfers.
97. That's 97. It keeps
That's
adding?
97, correct. And I
Oh.
shoot 87, so now we've got 184.
So how many's on a team, though? Do you know? Just
I think
curious.
4 players.
4 players.
Yes,
And he
because
shot 6?
the low scores here are like 313, and if you divided that into 4, that'd be like some 75, 78.
Oh, okay.
You know, and that's
Oh,
good players.
That's good. Okay.
You know, so the guys shooting in the 70s, they're good players. But Big Rapids were the runner-up, and Grand Rapids Christian. Trenton competed at the D2 state meet. They won. Oh wait, yeah, they ran a regional championship. They were 16 out of 18 teams. They were at Michigan State University's golf course, Forest Oaks.
Have you ever seen their golf course?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Is it?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it sounds like it would
I
be
got to
nice.
play on it when my brother back in the day went to state. We used to go up there on like a Monday and go play. Yeah, so he'd get us out on the course. It was.
Did
nice.
you have him caddy for you? He is your younger brother.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry,
yes.
Paul.
Yeah, but he's not going to carry my bag. And they were 18.
worth a
I
shot.
mean, you see 16th out of 18, and you think, they weren't very good. But you're thinking out of every golf team in the state of Michigan. You know, it's like when our bowling team makes it to the state finals and we finish 13th. You know, that's 13th out of
Out of a
100 teams, 200 teams. you
Right.
know.
and just getting there is quite an accomplishment.
We were pretty good about that. Now, there was a local Wyandotte,
Golfer?
Elliot Bernacci. He was he qualified
All right,
second.
Elliot.
He qualified second at the regional and shot 79, but he was at the Fortress in Frankenmuth. That's a tough track. That's a nice track, yeah. And he had a pair of 97s. Wasn't his best 2 days. but
Dyslexic on that day because he had
needed
79 to
yes,
get in, right?
He
Now
needed
he's at
79
97.
down there. And, you know, maybe he goes back. I don't know if he's a senior or not. But, you know, the first time you get to something like that, if you're not crawling out of your skin, there's something wrong with you. If you can be that calm and you don't have the adrenaline is the word, people get nervous in sports all the time.
Do they actually allow them, meaning the fans, to follow like they do, like Tiger Woods, everybody going?
Correct. And there
They
are no
do?
ropes.
There are
But
no
I
ropes?
imagine there's rules.
I'd wear a helmet.
Well, I wouldn't be standing where I could get. Yeah, if anyone stood to the side
Oh.
when I hit it,
I'd have to blame.
I'm killing somebody off to the side. Okay, don't be standing over there. I say it all the time. That guy mishits that ball, and that first
Oh.
cameraman down there kneeling
Oh.
down, he's doomed.
Wear a cup.
Yeah. So but anyway, they do get to walk around, but there are rules. You know, like you can't, like the dad can't follow his son and be giving him advice. You know, I think there's rules with that.
No
you know.
shout outs?
It's 5 iron. Hit 5 iron.
I don't care what that caddy says. Oh, wait a minute, you're the caddy.
Right. The kids carry their own bags. You know, the coach can walk with them, but usually there's 4 kids on 4 different holes, kind of like when we do regionals. So you can't.
So that's why you went behind certain kids to help them, the ones that were having difficulty.
Right. As you
They
jump lane
probably
to
do
lane.
that?
Yeah, I would say they do that. And, you know, the policing of it would be, you know, it's a gentleman's sport, and the kids are playing with 3 other schools in their foursomes, so you're kind of watching everybody. And
Perfect opportunity to get the head coach at Wyandotte Roosevelt out here to explain it to someone like me who has no idea.
that is.
Just like the people watching this show.
And our local golf course, I mentioned this before, but
Mentor?
Mentor Golf, yes, by the Wyandotte Rec Department. You can, children under 13 can golf free over here at the local muni. And all they have to be is with an adult.
All they
Monday
have to
through
be is with an
Thursday,
adult?
1 through 3. Again, we talked about that. If you're free, Grandpa's free at 1 through 3. He takes the little one out, especially when school ends, and give him a little set of clubs and walk the course. You know, the more
It
the
would be
kid
kind
hits
of
it.
cool to Grandpa going with you and take his cane and at the bottom of his cane just turn it into a putter or something like that. Little driver, you could just play each hole.
Why does Grandpa have a cane?
He's Grandpa.
Ah, okay. But that'll teach your young kids how to play golf.
Yeah.
And I think free golf, I mean, you can't beat free golf.
And let me help you out with that. You know, it's free right now for the kid until you go and you get the bag, you get the clubs, you get the drivers, paying for the golf course. Yeah, it's free right now.
But there's a big market in used clubs, so you can find kids'
Oh,
clubs.
is there?
Oh yeah, there's. I've got both my kids have a set.
Well, there you
They
go.
don't use them.
Just give
Yeah,
'em a
just
call.
call me. I'll give you mine.
But isn't it regulated on height? Again, if we had a golf coach out here, we would know. But isn't it regulated on height?
Well, you can get fitted clubs, but there is a stock.
They kind of
set.
generalize, don't they?
They generalize.
Because you would use a taller club than I would.
Theoretically, I don't. I have standard set.
Oh,
My
okay.
brother's got an extended set. He's a
So
little
if they say
taller.
a standard set, would it be a certain size? You know, like my
Yeah.
socks, certain size.
No, it's
standard.
It is. They're stock. Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
They are stock.
Well, for all you football players that would like to be just like the Lions play, and I think you have a really good shot at it, at Pulaski Park on Monday the 22nd and Wednesday, or through Wednesday the 24th, from 6 to 7 o'clock, they have a United Camp enrollment. Boys and girls, 4 to 8. I don't know if they can play like the Lions. Only $55 per participant. 4 to 8.
Well, they're starting them young. They're going to teach them the proper techniques. That's what I would get out of it. The Lions know the proper techniques, and maybe you meet a fan or a player or two.
Okay,
I'm
no
sure.
offsides. All you kids back. 4 to 8. That's a good gig. I gotta start something like that. I don't know what they're gonna get out of it. To be honest with you, autograph football.
I don't know. For $55, does it say you probably get a bag? You probably get a T-shirt. You probably get coaching.
Well, yeah, skill contests and scrimmages.
There you go.
Let's stop the drooling. But anyway, you also get 2 tickets to a Lions home preseason game.
That's better than nothing.
Character development, emphasis on Detroit Lions 5 points of pride. Great. Yeah. You do get a T-shirt and much more. Well,
You should discuss it
Good
like it's a
luck.
good thing. You should discuss it like a good thing, not like
I'm
if it was
sorry.
at the Green Bay camp.
I'm probably
you'd
being
be,
a negative.
You'd be drooling
I'm sorry,
all
I
over.
don't mean to be negative.
You'd be drooling all over it if it was Green Bay.
4 to 8. I coach kids from 8 all the way up to 15. So yeah, at 8, I remember the first time that I did practice. Kids were 8 and 9 years old. I grew up playing baseball, so when I hit a ball to a kid, the first 5 minutes of practice, the kid come under and it went bam, busted his mouth open. The mother comes running out. This kid's bleeding. Next thing you know, she's taking him off. And I thought, do you kids know how to catch? Because I really, before that, we were just doing this, but I didn't think about the ball. And so maybe this is beneficial for that. Because I can see a lot of footballs getting hit in the face, right?
Yeah, I'll agree. You know, that age is tough because
tough.
they start with T-ball. They start with the soft. You know, there's always kids more advanced than other kids, and by the time they're 12 or 14, the field is leveled a little better.
Correct.
I mean, you're always at every team you ever coach. You're going to have that superstar, and you're going to have the 15th kid on the team. Not that he's any different. Your job as a coach is to make them work together. That is at every level of the game. That is at the level of the Detroit Tigers. That is at the level of the New York Yankees. They've got that guy, and they've got that guy.
Correct.
No matter what coach you do, no matter what sport you do, you're not going to get all superstars. So as a coach, your job is to teach them the right way and the wrong way. And hopefully at that age, that's about all you can do. you know.
Right, right. Well, it starts them on to the path to all the other summer camps you're going to be going to.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad's going to be paying for.
Volleyball,
Volleyball.
softball, been there, done that.
Golf
Yes.
has a gazillion of those.
Detroit River Keepers. There's a gentleman, Bob Burns. He
Bobby
runs this
Burns.
group. They're having a bass fishing. They're in Cadillac right now, bass fishing competition. There's actually a fishing team, a bass fishing team in this city.
That's amazing to me because I tell you what, if that would have been in my curriculum, I'm going in for that class.
It says fish caught in the Detroit River can be safe for consumption if you follow a few simple rules.
Oh.
First one is throw it back. Okay.
Let someone else consume this.
Yes. And you know, to get back to fishing, I fished as a teenager. You know, we as an adult, it's funny. You know what? The only thing I ever caught was a buzz. You know, I wasn't very good at it. I'm just saying that.
Well, I'll tell you what, it does. I was not good at it either.
But just the Friends of the Detroit River, you know. They'll be at the Trenton Summer Festival, you know, and the Detroit River Water Festival. They're having an Eat Safe Fish campaign, and they'll probably teach you what's good.
Well, I think that's really important, to be honest with you, because I never learned how to fillet a fish. So whenever I caught a fish, you either fillet it or it's going back.
Right, throw it back.
Right, exactly. So that I think is good. And then they teach you what fish you should eat. Like, I don't know, some people eat carp, but they eat dog in China. So
You know, they got 3 C's here. They got avoid the bottom feeders, clean it, remove as much fat as you can, and cook it on a broiler rack or a grill so that all the fat drips off. I guess that's where the toxic chemicals are at.
So,
You know, that's what I don't fish in that river. I'm not a fisherman. I do own a fishing pole, but it's in the garage on the top.
been there for years.
Yes, yes, it has.
They also have free summer meals for kids and teens. And this is at the Madison, let me see, Wilson Middle School. And it's June 17th through August 9th. From lunch, 10:45 till 12:25 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Free meals for the kids.
Free meals for, that's great. It's called the Green Box Park Program.
Excellent.
I think that's wonderful.
Oh, they should all eat because parents are probably at work. One last thing before we wrap up, the Wyandotte Sports Hall of Fame Committee has voted to induct the 1986 Our Lady of Mount Carmel girls basketball state champions to the Hall of Fame. That ceremony will take place August 24th on a Saturday at the Bentley Banquet and Conference Center. An open bar and cocktail hour will start at 5.
Well, they're old enough now.
Yeah, yes, they are.
But it's going to be at Mount Carmel. I think that's great. It's going to be for that Mount Carmel team, and it's going to be during the Mount Carmel Festival.
86 team,
okay.
Yeah, they're old enough to drink. As we wrap up, I want to thank everyone for watching. I'm Marty Chinesky, along with my good friend Ken Montroy. We'll see you next week. Hi, Mom, and thank you for watching your local sports.
All of you that are left.
All of you
Mom.
that are left, yes. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
That's right. Forgot that. Happy Father's Day,
Why,
Dad.
thank you. Why, thank you.
Not really my dad, but your
That's
dad.
okay.